At about 7:30, they said, terrorists on the kibbutz, everybody stay in the safe room, make sure your doors are locked, make sure your safe room door is locked, and no exiting the safe room for anything.
Hi, can you start by telling me your name, where you're from, and what it is that you do?
So my name is Sarit Kurtzman. I'm from Kibbutz Alumim. I'm 28 years old.
Can you tell us about Kibbutz Alumim, where exactly it's situated, and why that place, why you chose that place to live?
So my husband is originally from there. My husband was born there and grew up there his whole life. I actually met Kibbutz Alumim in my gap year. It was the year before the army. And I went to Mechina, which is a pre-army program on the kibbutz. I was there for a year. It's located in the south of Israel. We are also 4 kilometers away from the border of Gaza.
And were you ever concerned because of its location?
I mean, until this time, I wasn't really concerned. I mean, I never felt very scared. You know, we had many, they call them rounds of missiles, but we have our mamad, our safe room, the shelter, and, you know, you go into the shelter, you have 15 seconds to get in there, and then you have 10 minutes that you have to just sit and wait, and then you're fine. A very long answer to the short question is no, I wasn't ever concerned. I never imagined anything like what happened. If you tell me now that something like this would happen, I wouldn't believe you.
Could you tell us where you were on October 7th and how that day went for you? I'm sure it was one of the longest days in your life.
Yeah.
But if you can begin to describe a little bit about what it was like.
So it started at 6:29 with a very familiar sound of the Iron Dome exiting to intercept the missiles coming from Gaza. So straight away, I jumped out of my bed, went to my daughter's bed, grabbed her into the safe room. That's our bedroom, and she's in the room right next door. I grabbed her, brought her into the safe room, closed the door, closed the window. Again, usually because we're unfortunately familiar with these situations, usually we'll get like a notice. You know, they say, I don't know, the IDF, they killed some big terrorist, you know, just be aware they might be shooting because they're upset. That's how we knew our enemy works. And here there was no notice, nothing coming our way, nobody. So our bomb shelter window was open. We had to shut that window, close the door. And we're sitting in our safe room, me and my husband. Again, it wasn't only Shabbos, it was Simchat Torah, it was a Chag. We're sitting in the shelter and the missiles just don't stop. Because like I said, we're used to it, you know? We have the Tzeva Adom, which is the siren. We go in, close the door. We have to stay there for 10 minutes, and then you go out. And this time, the missiles just didn't stop. So I look at my husband. I'm like, listen, like something is weird. This is not one of the normal attacks that we're used to hearing. Like something's going on. And me and my husband are both Shomer Shabbat. We don't use our phones on Shabbos. After about 20 minutes of just missiles nonstop, I told my husband, like, okay, like we have to know what's going on. Like this is, something's happening. We have to turn on one of the phones. So I turned on my phone. And there wasn't really anything coming my way. They said like a surprise attack, just stay in the safe rooms. Okay, make sure you stay in the safe room. Don't go out of the safe room. So this is at 6:20, right? 6:29 it all began. So we're just staying there with our phones, obviously, because it's time we have to understand what's going on. Kibbutz Alumim is a religious kibbutz, meaning nobody is really on their phone. But because we're used to having all these attacks, so people know that pikuach nefesh, you have to sometimes use your phone. So this was all happening through the WhatsApp group, the security WhatsApp group. We also have a different security app on our phones that we also use. At about 7:30, they said, terrorists on the kibbutz, everybody stay in the safe room, make sure your doors are locked, make sure your safe room door is locked, and no exiting the safe room for anything. So I was like I said, I don't know, maybe I was just trying I was probably in denial, but I was shocked. And then we start hearing noises that we're not used to hearing. Like I said, we're used to hearing the missiles, we're used to hearing the Iron Dome, we're used to hearing helicopters, planes, tanks. These are things that we know. But we started hearing gunshots. And that isn't something we're very familiar with. And like me and my husband, we were both in the army, and we started hearing gunshots, not of the weapons we know, meaning they sound different, and unfortunately we can tell the difference. And that we said that's a Kalashnikov, that's a Kalach, that's not one of our weapons, and it sounded like it was really right outside our window. So my husband is standing by the door. At some point he was really holding the door for about 12 hours. He was just holding the door. He was on the phone with his parents, live on the kibbutz. He was on the phone with them, making sure they're okay, making sure they're also in their safe room. We were trying to get a picture, because at no point did they tell us there's no terrorists in the kibbutz, you can go out. At no point. So this is, again, the whole day. We were in the mamad the whole entire day. On the security group, they keep on updating us. At some point, they updated us that we have three people that got injured on the kibbutz, that it's still not safe to go out. It's still not safe to go out. At no point was it safe, to just go out. I don't know, go to the bathroom, get something. My daughter, she woke up. I kept on trying to make sure she doesn't cry. You were also told to try to keep quiet, so they don't, so the terrorists, when they come, they won't know if there's people in the room. So I was singing to her mostly Tehillim, trying to really keep her calm. And it was, I think, at 12, we had a blackout. The electricity went out. And then it started getting a little bit more challenging, because we didn't have air conditioning or a fan, and it's pretty stuffy. So once in a while, we just would open the door just for a second to get some oxygen and close it. And then they sent us a message that at 2 a.m. we're going to get evacuated. So we quickly again opened the door, ran literally through my daughter's whole entire closet into a bag, grabbed myself 2 t-shirts, closed the bag, ran back to the shelter. And then they kept on postponing. Okay. And in 2 hours, in 3 hours, at 8 o'clock in the morning, they said that at 8:30, if you have your own car, then we'll be evacuated. The army will escort us, and we can leave. So my husband's parents, they have a car. We don't have a car. They came up straight by our house. We went into the car. We waited in a line, all the cars at the entrance of the kibbutz, and then we exited the kibbutz. After now, I sent my location to my sister. I sent her the live location again once we saw that people are getting kidnapped and terrorists are really entering people's home. I sent her my location. I said, listen, I'm gonna figure out a way. I'll put my phone in my baby's diaper, thinking that, well, now we know that they didn't care about babies either, but thinking maybe kids would change something. And now we know that didn't really matter either. But I put the phone in her diaper with the location, so you know where we are. When I saw my sister a few days later, she gave me a hug, and she's like, Sarit, that really broke me. That really hit me when you sent me the location. It was like, oh my God, what's going on? My youngest brother is in the army now, and he also tried coming to the kibbutz. We were texting, we were WhatsApping, and he wrote to me. He's like, where are you? What's going on? At some point, I wrote to him. Again, he sent me a screenshot of our conversation afterwards, and I didn't remember. I really didn't remember talking to him or writing to him these things. But he wrote to me. He's like, what's going on? Tell me what's up. I'll come. And I wrote to him, listen, there are terrorists in the kibbutz, and we need you. So come. Thank God he didn't make it to the kibbutz. He was in Sderot, and he fought there, and then he went to Kfar Aza. He fought there. He had his own crazy miracles there too. He had a grenade in between his legs that didn't blow up. Just mamash crazy miracles he had. And thank God he didn't make it to us, because the whole road to us was full of terrorists just slaughtering anybody on the way. We exited the kibbutz. He wanted to come also visit me there. I said, go, you go, continue killing who has to get killed. and we'll be fine. So we exit the kibbutz, and what we saw was just a horror scene. It was just like how you would imagine a war movie setup. One side of the road is burning on fire. There's fire on the side of the road, just burning, and then there's a crashed car, and then on the other side there's a burnt car, and there's another car that's upside down with bullet holes in it, and another car on the side that the whole glass is shattered. Just the whole entire road is just cars, bashed and smashed and burnt and shot, and we're just driving. And this is it's my home, it's my street, this is where I drive every single day, 3 times a day, 4 times a day. And I was just like shocked. By the time we got there, thank God, the bodies weren't there anymore. But I'll say the Jewish bodies weren't there anymore. The terrorists were still there. So that was a scene that we tried not looking at. But like I said, we started understanding like this is a war. After we finished, after we really got here, we started hearing all different kinds of parts of the puzzle of who saved our lives. So it's called the Kitat Konenut. It's the emergency security team of the kibbutz, and their job, it's built from it's men who all work in different jobs. They don't usually work in security in their day-to-day basis. One is an engineer, one is a teacher, one is a professor, one is he works in the carrot factory. I mean, these are ordinary fathers, because they fathers and men. Some of them are younger, some of them. And their job is just to make sure the kibbutz is safe until the army comes. And what happened that day is that once the whole thing started, a few of the younger guys on the kibbutz that just finished their army service, they were hanging out. They heard the missiles. They heard that it was going on for longer than usual. So obviously they go outside to see the Iron Dome intercepting the missiles. And then they heard motorcycles. Now, like I said, we're a religious kibbutz. There's no cars on the kibbutz on Shabbat at all. So one of them just like kind of peeked and saw 4 motorcycles with 2 terrorists on each motorcycle, that they were coming from the back gate of the kibbutz to the front gate of the kibbutz. And so right away he called the head of security on the kibbutz and told him, like, there's mechablim on the kibbutz. There are terrorists in the kibbutz right now. So the whole emergency security team went to the where they have their equipment. They got all their equipment and right away went to stop the terrorists, to fight the terrorists. What happened is really in the back gate of the kibbutz where they entered is where we have our whole industry area. We have our milk farm, and we have agriculture, and we have, like I said, many factories of agriculture. And the terrorists came in from there, and we have there the foreign workers. They have a little house there. So the terrorists entered, and they went straight to the foreign workers. What happens is like I said, when there's missiles, you go to the bomb shelter. And our enemy, they, unlike us, they don't care if they're shooting their own missiles that are going to hit them too. I mean, we want to live, and we have Kedushat HaChaim. We want to live, so we go into the bomb shelter. So they knew exactly where everybody was. I mean, the enemy knew exactly where all of their victims are, because we were all in the bomb shelters, because they just didn't stop shooting. So they went to the bomb shelter of the foreign workers and slaughtered them. Really, they killed 16 foreign workers from Thailand and Nepal. Again, these are the students from Nepal that came just a month ago to work here in agriculture. They were a really good help to us. They help us work in the fields and with the chickens and in the barn. And so they really slaughtered them. 16 of them were killed. I think 2 were injured, and I think 4 are still missing, were kidnapped. And the emergency security team was fighting them. They really were able to just keep them in the back area of the kibbutz and not to enter the the civilized area where the whole community lives. Like I said, 3 of those members got injured. One had a grenade blow up really close to him, and he has bandages all over his arms. And again, like, I think it's part of our hanis. The huge miracle is really they're all okay. I mean, one of them got a bullet. He got shot in his leg, and he continued fighting for another 3 hours. Another one got shot in the back. He had 2 bullets in his back, and they were able to evacuate him under fire. Like, again, everything is just really a huge, huge miracle. And thank God they're all okay. They're all functioning and almost, I mean, they have some, physical therapy to do, and Baruch Hashem, it's really a miracle. So that was that close team that we know that we owe our life to. And then the army came only about 5 hours later.
5 hours after the initial attack, or 5 hours after?
5 hours after the attack. So they came in the afternoon. So this team was fighting for 5 hours, terrorists in the kibbutz, and kept on stopping them. The terrorists came in from 8 different areas on the kibbutz, and they were just able to stop them. At one time when they came in, one of the elder men on the kibbutz, he went out to see what's going on. He heard noises, and one of the terrorists actually shot him. He got shot in the stomach. A 70-year-old man got shot in the stomach and is okay now. Again, like, you just hear this and it sounds like it's be'emet the biggest miracles. Like I said, parts of the puzzle are getting more clear. So we heard there was paratroopers that came. They came on a helicopter. The helicopter landed right outside the kibbutz. As it was landing, they got shot by an RPG. The helicopter got hit, and they were still able to land safely. They landed safely. All the soldiers exited the helicopter while they're getting shot at. The terrorists already started shooting at them while they were exiting the helicopter. Once they were all off, the helicopter got hit again, and this time it went up in flames. But everyone was fine. Nobody got injured. And these soldiers were right outside the kibbutz. Their mission was to get to Be'eri. But when they heard what's going on by us, that there's also terrorists by us, they also were able to fight the terrorists by our kibbutz too. Another unit named Shaldag, which is an elite unit of the Air Force, they also, same thing, were on their way to Be'eri because things in Be'eri, kibbutz Be'eri is right near us, were very, very bad. And on the way to Be'eri, they saw about 30 terrorists coming again to Alumim, to our kibbutz, from the back gate, and they were able to intercept them there and stop them. Unfortunately, a soldier was killed there from Shaldag, Ido Rosenthal, Zichrono Livracha. So again, this is a person we owe our life to. Another soldier from Yahalom, which is another unit, he also got killed on the kibbutz. And one of the members of the kibbutz, he was in the army and he was home for Chag, he was home for Shabbat. Once everything started, he's like, I gotta go. He straight away, while again under fire, went out of the kibbutz. He took a car, drove out, and unfortunately was killed on the way. And my husband's best friend lived in Kfar Aza, and he was missing for about a week. Nobody knew if he was kidnapped, if he was killed. Unfortunately, it was about a week after it started. It was Friday afternoon that they came and told us he was killed. Shachaf Bergstein, Zichrono Livracha. So like I said, we left at 8:30 in the morning, but the whole community evacuated a little bit later on buses to Netanya. They were evacuated to 2 hotels in Netanya. And from then till now, about 3 weeks later, it's been almost a month that the kibbutz, as a community together, we're all living in a hotel for a month now, and trying to really get a schedule for the kids, for the babies, and trying to really keep it together as a community. I mean, we have a lot of questions. I believe we're going to get answers too. I just think it's not time right now. Now it's really time for Am Yisrael to be united and to be strong together. I mean, the help and the support we're getting from everyone is amazing. I mean, after a while, after about 2 weeks, I asked the head of the kibbutz. I said, listen, like, we're getting so much donations and volunteers and everything. Like, we have to make sure to say thank you. He's like, okay, Sarit, you're in charge of the thank you letters. And I could say, I think I've been sending out, I think, more than 50 thank you letters. Just, again, like, I trying to just stay sane. It's not always simple, because at the end, any person needs a home. But thank God, really, I have my family and we have support, and the country really is doing a lot for us. So we're really staying optimistic and staying united. I think that's really our strength as a nation, as a people. And you see, for the past, I don't know, since Am Yisrael was created, the Omdim Aleinu L'Chalotenu, right? The enemies always want to evacuate us and kill us and destroy our nation. But we win, and that's what we do. We fight, we win, we survive, and we rebuild. And that's really what we see and believe that's going to happen this time. And that's why we're so patient. I mean, nobody's saying ceasefire now, because the only way that this can end is when, not if, is when we completely eliminate Hamas. And that's what we're all waiting for. And we're going to be patient until it happens, because that's the only way this is going to end.
To people who aren't based in Israel and they want to help and they want to give, what do you think's the most important and necessary right now for people outside of Israel to do, to help, to want to feel useful and like they're making some sort of contribution?
Well, first of all, we need spokesmen. We need them to help us fight this war against the people who want to destroy us as a nation. So that's to really spread the word, if it's on social media, if it's just in their colleges, on their campuses. I mean the biggest Ivy League colleges and what's going on there, and anti-Semitism, and it's just really horrifying. And it's us as a nation has to really fight it everywhere, because it's everywhere. If it's seeing what's going on in London, seeing what's going on in New York City, which is like, how many Jews live there, and still how they're able to just do what they're doing. So that's the first thing, is really to just spread the word, social media, I don't know, rallies, whatever you guys are doing, just continue, because I see, and we really support it. And then besides that, I know there's the amount of organizations that are collecting donations is amazing and is insane. So also, just some of these donations are really going to be able to rebuild the kibbutzim that need it. I mean, Alumim, we also have like a donation link that people are really donating to rebuild, because I may have not mentioned it. They burnt down our whole area of the milk farm, but they were able to rebuild, to fix part of it. But again, so these donations will really rebuild the kibbutzim that need. And obviously, tefillot, a lot of tefillot.
Your story is obviously a miraculous story, and it's very brave of you to share it. And I'm sure everybody watching and hearing your story will be moved, but even that doesn't do justice. When you do share your story, what is it that you hope people will walk away with? If there's a specific message or an idea or some encouragement, what do you want people to learn from your experience?
The most important thing is now, is the after. That with the faith and the unity of Am Yisrael, is that we move forward and we rebuild. We're here to stay, and we're going to do everything. Each and every one of us is going to do everything so we can go back home and feel safe. And I can walk around with my daughter again on the kibbutz, and I can go for my runs outside the kibbutz in the fields like I used to. And that's really with the unity and the generosity of everybody of Am Yisrael. And like I said, we're gonna move forward, because if you're standing still, you might sink or fall back.
That was beautiful. Thank you for sharing your story.